Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please consider subscribing to my channel for more compelling narratives like this one. The lasagna sat untouched on the dining table, a silent centerpiece. My mother had been adamant about this family gathering. She'd hinted at something significant to share. Now, with all four of my siblings present on an ordinary Tuesday evening, the reason was becoming clear. Dad stood at the table's head, clearing his throat. Before we dig in, he said, your mom and I have something to announce. My older brother, Ethan, leaned in, his eyes bright with anticipation. My sisters, Lily and Emma, shared a quick, knowing look. My younger brother, Noah, barely glanced up from his phone, lost in his own world. I sat at the table's far end, sipping my wine, curiosity stirring as I watched the scene unfold. As you're all aware, Mom began, we've been reflecting on our future. This house is too large for just the two of us, and the upkeep is starting to feel like too much. The house, a grand Tudor-style home on Maplewood Lane, with 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and an acre of land, was the place we'd all grown up in, the home my parents had owned for 3 decades. Or so they believed. Dad continued, so, we've decided to split the house among you kids. Multi-generational living is becoming popular again, and we think it's time our family came back together under one roof. Ethan clapped, grinning. That's incredible. Sarah and I have been needing more space since the twins arrived. Perfect timing. Mom smiled warmly. We're giving you and Sarah the master suite. It's the largest bedroom, perfect for your growing family. Lily raised her hand, as if back in a classroom. What about me and Tom? Dad answered, you'll have the 2 bedrooms upstairs, one for you, one for your home office, since we know your remote work matters. Lily's face lit up. Emma was practically bouncing in her seat. Emma, you and Lucas get the guest suite above the garage, Mom said. It's like its own apartment, nice and private. Emma squealed. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Dad turned to Noah. Noah, you'll get the basement bedroom. We'll fix it up with a proper bathroom and a small kitchenette, your own bachelor pad. Noah finally looked up, smirking. That's actually pretty cool. For siblings, for spaces assigned. I took another sip of wine, waiting. Mom's smile tightened as she turned to me. And Olivia, we know you value your independence, so we thought the solarium would suit you. We can put in a day bed, and you'll have your own entrance through the back patio. The solarium, a glass-walled former porch, unheated, barely a room, more like a fancy greenhouse. The solarium? I echoed, my tone flat. It's quite lovely, Mom said defensively. So much natural light. And you're always working, so you won't be here much anyway. Ethan pulled out his phone. Should we start planning the move? Sarah's already packing. We could be here by next month. Wait, I said softly. Before everyone starts boxing up their lives, can I ask something? Mom's voice carried that familiar condescending edge. What is it, dear? Who exactly is giving away the bedrooms? Dad's brow furrowed. Your mother and I, of course. It's our house. Is it? The table fell silent. Dad's tone sharpened. What kind of question is that? We've lived here for 30 years. You lived here, I corrected, pulling out my phone and opening my email. Dad, when was the last time you checked the property deed? I don't need to check the deed to my own house, he snapped. Actually, you do, because things change. I scrolled through my messages. Let me ask you this. Do you remember 2 years ago when you were in financial trouble? The property tax bill, 6 months overdue. Mom's face paled. That was a temporary issue, she said. It was $47,000 in back taxes, plus penalties, I countered. The county was about to put a lien on the house. You called me at midnight, sobbing. Remember? Dad sank into his chair. We sorted that out. I sorted it out, I said. I paid the $47,000 in back taxes, plus the $18,000 penalty. Then I paid off your home equity loan, $180,000. And then I bought the house from you for the remaining mortgage balance of $290,000. Silence gripped the room, broken only by Noah's phone clattering to the floor. What? Ethan's voice cracked. I turned my phone toward them, displaying the county property records. This is the deed, recorded 23 months ago. Owner, Olivia Marie Hart. That's me. Lily snatched the phone, staring at the screen. This can't be real. It's real, I said. Public record. Property ID 847-3392-0016. Purchased March 15th, 2 years ago, for $515,000, covering taxes, penalties, the loan, and the mortgage. Emma looked faint. Mom's hands trembled. That was supposed to be temporary, she said. You were helping us. I helped you by buying the house before the county took it. You signed a quitclaim deed, transferring ownership to me. You were at the closing, Dad. You signed the papers. I thought we were refinancing, Dad said, his voice rising. The lawyer mentioned restructuring. The lawyer said you were transferring ownership to avoid foreclosure. You heard what you wanted. Ethan shoved back from the table. So you're saying you own this entire house? Every square foot, I said. I've paid property taxes, insurance, and maintenance for 2 years. New roof last summer, $38,000. HVAC replacement, $11,500. Foundation repairs, $12,200. Total investment, $590,000. Noah was pale, but we were supposed to move in. You were planning to move into my house without asking me, I said. That's a key difference. Lily's voice was sharp. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you I saved Mom and Dad from losing everything? That I've been funding their lifestyle for 2 years? When would I have brought it up? Christmas, when you were all too busy. Easter, when only Noah showed up. Mom's birthday, when no one called. The accusations hung heavy in the air. This is ridiculous, Ethan said. You can't just own the family home. I don't just own this house, I said, pulling up another document. I own a real estate portfolio worth $2.1 million. This house, 3 rental properties downtown, and a commercial building on Fifth Avenue. But you wouldn't know because none of you ever asked what I do beyond something in finance. You said you were an analyst, Emma said weakly. I am a senior investment analyst earning $220,000 a year. I've been investing in real estate since I was 26, building something real while you all thought I was scraping by. Mom spoke, her voice trembling. You let us believe we still owned it. You never asked, I said. You've lived here rent-free while I paid every bill. I was trying to preserve your dignity. But that courtesy led you to think you could parcel out my bedrooms. Dad's face flushed. We're your parents. How could you do this? Do what? Save you from foreclosure? Pay your debts? Maintain your property? Or refuse to let you divide my house like it's yours? My phone buzzed, a text from my attorney, Laura Chun. Documents ready. Proceed? I replied, yes. Send them. What now? Lily asked, her voice small. Now you go back to your actual homes, I said. Not my house. Mom's voice broke. You're kicking us out? We're your family. I'm not kicking you out. You can't be kicked out of a place you don't live. But Mom and Dad, we need to talk about rent, expectations, and the fact that I've been your landlord for 2 years without you realizing. Rent. Dad looked stunned. You want us to pay rent? Market rate for a house this size is $4,200 a month, I said. I'll give you a family discount, $2,500 due in 30 days. We can't afford that, Mom cried. Then downsize, I said. There are nice 2-bedroom condos in Brookside for $1,800 a month, better suited for 2 people. Ethan stood abruptly. This is blackmail. This is reality, I said. I've been generous for 2 years. That's over. We'll fight this, Lily said. We'll get a lawyer. Go ahead, I replied. My attorney, Laura Chun at Morrison & Associates, will show your lawyer the deed, closing documents, and payment records. All legal, all recorded, all mine. Emma was in tears. How can you be so heartless? Heartless? You all planned to move into my house without asking, assign my bedrooms, claim my closets, and I'm heartless for saying no. Noah grabbed his keys. I'm out. Good idea, I said. You should all leave. This is still Mom and Dad's home until we settle new terms, but it's not your future housing plan. One by one, my siblings left. Ethan slammed the door. Lily was on her phone, calling Tom before she reached her car. Emma left sobbing. Noah's tire screeched as he sped off. Mom and Dad sat in stunned silence at the table. The lasagna was cold. The family dinner had collapsed. I can't believe you did this, Mom said finally. At a family dinner in front of everyone. You announced housing plans at a family dinner in front of everyone, I said. I just set the record straight. We're your parents, Dad said weakly. Doesn't that mean anything? It means I spent $515,000 saving you from foreclosure. It means I've spent another $75,000 on maintenance and taxes. It means I let you live here free for 2 years while I covered everything. That's what it means. Mom's face crumpled. Where do we go now? You're not going anywhere yet, I said. But things have changed. You can stay, but you'll contribute. Or downsize to something you can afford. We built a life here, Dad said. 30 years of memories. Our kids grew up here. I know, I said. That's why I bought it instead of letting the county take it. But that doesn't make it yours. It's mine. The truth settled heavily. When do you need an answer? Dad asked quietly. Take a week. Talk to a financial advisor. Figure out what you can afford. Then we'll talk terms. Mom stood, trembling. I need to rest. She left without another word. Dad began clearing the table, his movements slow, defeated. For what it's worth, he said, avoiding my eyes, we didn't know you owned it. I signed papers, but I thought it was a loan or something. That we still owned it somehow. You signed a quitclaim deed, Dad, I said. It's clear. I wasn't thinking straight, he said. We were about to lose everything. I just signed what the lawyer gave me. And then you never checked the records or asked questions. You let me handle it and forgot about it. He looked at me, suddenly older. You were always so capable. We thought you didn't need us. I didn't need you, I said, but I saved you anyway. And you thanked me by trying to give away my house. That was your mother's idea, he said. She thought if we all lived here, we'd be a family again, like when you were kids. We're not kids anymore, I said. You can't force a family bond that isn't there. Dad set down the plates. That portfolio you mentioned, is it true? Every word, I said. I've been building it for 6 years. Started small, reinvested, grew it. This house is my biggest asset, but not the only one. We had no idea, he said. You never asked. You all thought I was the struggling single daughter with a dull finance job. It was easier than seeing the truth. He looked down. I'm sorry for not seeing you, for not asking, for taking you for granted. It was the first real apology I'd ever heard from him. I know, I said, but sorry doesn't change facts. I own this house. Start treating it that way. Within an hour, my phone lit up. Ethan, how could you humiliate us? Lily, Mom's crying. Happy now. Noah, guess the solarium wasn't enough for you. I blocked Ethan and Lily, left Emma's message unread, and replied to Noah. The solarium isn't even a bedroom. Think about it. Laura called later. I sent your parents the ownership papers, certified mail. They'll arrive tomorrow. Good, I said. I also drafted a month-to-month lease, $2,500 rent, 60 days notice, utilities included. Perfect, I said. Your siblings are going to flip. They already have, I said. Ethan's threatening to sue. Lily called me a sociopath. Emma says I'm destroying the family. Are you? Laura asked. No, I said. I'm just done being invisible. Laura laughed. You handled that dinner better than I would have. I wanted to see how far they'd go. Pretty far, I said. That night, I drove to my real home, a 2,000 square foot loft downtown with a city view, a place my family had never visited. They never asked. 3 days later, Dad called. We got the documents. We've been looking at our finances. Your mom doesn't want to leave, but we can't afford $2,500 a month. Then adjust your budget, I said. That's how it works. He sighed. There's a retirement community in Fairview. 2 bedrooms, $1,600 a month. Your mom cried, but it's nice. Maybe it's time. When are you moving? I asked. In 60 days, if that's okay. That's fine, I said. What about the house? I'll sell it or rent it out, I said. It's too big for 2 people. He paused. Your mom wants one last dinner. Just the 3 of us. She wants to apologize for real. I'll think about it, I said. That's more than we deserve, he said. He was right, but I went anyway. 3 weeks later, I sat in the same dining room. Fewer plates, same lasagna, but homemade this time. Thanks for coming, Mom said stiffly. Sure, I said. We ate in silence until she put down her fork. We failed you, she said. We took you for granted, ignored your success. You saved us, and we pretended it didn't happen. Then we tried to give away your house. Her voice wavered. You were always the easy one. So we focused on the others. We thought you didn't need us. We stopped paying attention. Dad took her hand. We were embarrassed, Mom said. Ashamed you had to save us, so we pretended you didn't. We thought that dinner would fix the family. We didn't consider how it made you feel. It wasn't even a real room, I said quietly. I know, she whispered, tears falling. You deserved respect. Instead, we gave you a solarium. You could have asked before dividing my house, I said. I'd have said no, but at least you'd have asked. Dad nodded. We should have asked about everything. We stopped seeing who you are. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. I'm not giving the house back, I said. We don't expect you to, Mom said. We just want you to know we see what we did and what we lost. What did you lose? I asked. She looked at me. You're not coming to Christmas, are you? No, I said. Not while they're angry about losing something that was never theirs. We understand, Dad said. If you want to visit, we'll be in Fairview. Unit 247. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a beginning. 6 weeks later, I stood in the empty house. My parents had moved out. The rooms echoed with memories. 3 offers had come in, all above asking. My phone buzzed. Emma, I'm sorry. I get it now. Can we talk? I texted back, maybe. Give me time. Another buzz, an investor's final offer. $780,000 cash, 30-day close. I looked around the quiet house, the kitchen, my old bedroom, the solarium glowing with light. Then I checked my portfolio app, my other properties, my savings, my life. I texted back, send the contracts. The house would soon belong to someone else. But the lesson would stay with me. Sometimes, saving your family means saving yourself first. Sometimes, love means walking away. The solarium glowed as I left. They'd offered me a greenhouse. I'd built an empire instead.